Second in the Primus Classic Impenis van Petegem last year. Couple of good results. Second on the stage of the 3 days of West Vlaanders this year. So some good results coming through for Tosh van der Zande, who's a developing rider. So too Chris Jensen. Great work in the Giro d'Italia this year for Tinkoff Saxo. Spent half the race on the front of the bunch. Just over 5 kilometres remaining on the final stage of Tour de Wallonië. We have 5 riders up front, 3 from the early breakaway and 2 that have made their way across, and they have added great impetus to this group because Chris Jensen in the yellow of Tinkoff Saxo is on the front with Tosh van der Zande of Lotto Soudal in his wheel. They have a narrow advantage of 10 seconds over the peloton, led by Edix Quickstep, representing the overall race leader and sitting 4th wheel in the peloton in the yellow jersey. That's Niki Terpstra as the 5 riders from the breakaway, and this was manna from heaven for the 3 riders that were up front a little earlier on. 137 on screen briefly there was Frederick Voikelen. Very much all about Edix Quickstep at the moment as they take control of the chase, but they'll be happy enough. There's no threat to Niki Terpstra's overall race lead from the 5 riders up front. Lotto Soudal, well, they're just playing a watching brief, and they'll see what they can do about sprinting up the hill should that breakaway be dragged back. But Tosh van der Zande, well, he's not thinking about that right now. He's piling it on, racing towards Thuin, and he's accompanied by the Danish rider from the Tinkoff Saxo squad, Chris Jensen, doing a great job at the moment. Kenny de Haasett is actually who just managed to make his way back onto the front and drag a little bit of energy. That was a great effort from him.
Well, he's just kind of sacrificed everything that he's got, and his finish line is effectively down the bottom of the climb, and then hope that Van der Zande can do the rest of it.
So it's great teamwork by Lotto Soudal, doing a super job at the moment. Now we find BMC are starting to move up on the left-hand side, and they've got Philippe Gilbert is their man. So the Gilbert number 24 and Vlegen is number 26. Those are the last 2 BMCs you'll see in the group.
But the whole Top Sport Vlaanderen team is doing a great job as well at keeping the rider up near the front as well.
That's Campanert sitting second overall, leading the youth competition, wearing the red jersey for the leader of the youth classification. That's Victor Campanert, not wearing the Top Sport Vlaanderen colours, but he's got the mass ranks of the Top Sport Vlaanderen squad around him. As Chris Jensen tries on the right-hand side of the road, and Kenny de Haas on the right and on the left-hand side, and they're looking at each other as if to say, well, that's it. It didn't work out on this occasion. Van der Zande.
This is definitely going to be a tough couple of kilometers for Edix Quickstep here. They're getting to the front already. They got Bonen and then Niki Terpstra there in yellow.
So perfect positioning through this right-hander from Edix Quickstep. They've got the overall race leader, Niki Terpstra, sitting in perfect position at the moment as they approach the final 2.5 kilometers. We're well into the outskirts of the small town of Thuin in the region of Hainaut in Wallonië. We're into the final 2,300 metres of the Tour of Wallonië of 2015. Terpstra sitting second wheel. He's in great position at the moment, but so too is the Tinkoff Saxo squad.
Yeah, this is the problem for them now. Think of Edix Quickstep having spent so much energy on the front, and they've kind of run out of riders to keep the pace up high, keep the pace high enough to keep themselves on the front. So they're having to mix in and try and stay near the front and not sort of get Niki bounced around. But Niki, they're moving up straight away, getting up towards the wheel of Tom Bonen.
Inside 2 kilometers to go, and now you've got Trek Factory Racing moving in on the wheel of the 2 Tinkoff Saxo riders. It's Trek Factory Racing that go to the front, but is it just a little bit early for Danny van Poppel, as we see Lotto Soudal also working their way towards the front. Cofidis are represented there as well in the red, but it's Trek Factory Racing in the black and white on the front of the bunch as they approach the climb, the little ramp up before they hit the cobbles. And this is Trek Factory Racing ahead of Tinkoff Saxo, and Trek Factory Racing already with a stage win this week from Danny van Poppel. Is that his brother that's trying to set something up for Van Poppel? Will he have the strength to last it up the hill? And that's the little pinch point that Magnus mentioned.
That's Lagutin, I think.
Going for the line.
Oh, no.
For the Tinkoff Saxo squad. Charging up this finishing hill. And just falling off a cliff a little bit and leaving it up to Trek Factory Racing to go for it in a big way. This is Danny Van Poppel, who's got the all-important gap and finds himself clear. Danny Van Poppel already with a lead, with a stage win this week, finds himself with a massive lead, has a little look over his shoulder. He's got to go for the line. Nobody, I think, can possibly deny him at this moment. Have BMC left it too late? There's still a lot of climbing to go, and he's got to suffer. He's a last 200-metre man normally, but surely he's got enough of a gap. He has a little look over his shoulder, and Danny Van Poppel's not used to winning solo. He's a sprinter by trade. He sprinted up the cobble first part of this climb and found himself with enough of a lead, and surely nothing can stop him at the moment as Danny Van Poppel looks over his shoulder once more, sitting 9th overall as the caption indicates. Could well move up here. Bonus seconds on offer. The bunch behind, they're skirmishing and finessing. Niki Terpstra is safely in there protecting his yellow jersey, going for the line. It's Edix Quickstep setting it up, and look at that, sitting second in line, BMC's Philippe Gilbert. But has he left it too late? It looks like it, because Danny Van Poppel looks around and sees that he's got the all-important lead that he needs inside the final 200 metres, and it still ramps up all the way to the line. It's a tough finish, there's no doubt about it, but equal to that toughness is Danny Van Poppel of Trek Factory Racing, who takes his second stage victory of the week. It's Van Poppel that gets it. Gilbert has enough for second, but no cigar on this occasion for Philippe Gilbert, because it's Danny Van Poppel that takes victory ahead of Gilbert and Breschel on the final stage of Tour of Wallonië for 2015. The bunch come through in dribs and drabs. There's plenty of gaps between the riders as they make their way across the line. That's a tough finish, but equal to the challenge. Danny Van Poppel of Trek Factory Racing. Well, Van Poppel gets the all-important victory, and that's a proud moment for him. 2 stage wins during the week. Clearly this is a man who is developing, still a young rider. Brilliantly presented into the final climb by his Trek Factory Racing teammate. I think could well have been his brother. And they've worked the oracle once more. Jean-Paul Van Poppel's son Danny doing the name proud.
Yeah, that was a very impressive move to have the guts to go that early for a man who's usually a fast man in you know, leave it late, and he's got a very good punch on him, but very strong move and confident move, and it caught everyone by surprise a bit. No one really wanted to go. It's too far to go to the finish, but not far enough to really have 2 goes at it. And with that, you know, he just caught everyone by surprise a bit. Yeah, they certainly did. And BMC will be kicking themselves after all the efforts that they made. Breschel too, Tinkoff Saxo really pushed hard, and Seri, who was up earlier in the week, gets up for 4th position. But well, no doubt about the man who takes the win. It's Danny Van Poppel of Trek Factory Racing. 2nd stage victory of the week. I think he's going to leap up on the overall classification as well, but waiting for full confirmation. But I feel confident, judging by the finish that Niki Terpstra produced there, that he will have hung on to his yellow jersey and will be declared the overall winner of Tour of Wallonië for 2015. Plenty of black tape on his left leg indicating recent injury, but well, no sign of any weakness from Danny Van Poppel in that finale, was there? Brilliantly presented to the bottom of the hill, and what strength and what a punchy climb up that cobbled Mur de Toin from Danny Van Poppel. Super performance from this young man. Clearly, as I say, still a developing rider. He's taken plenty of significant victories already in his career, and he's just added another. Two wins in a week.
for Danny van Poppel ahead of Philippe Gilbert, who's going to have to make do with just one stage victory from this year's Tour de Wallonië. Matty Breschel up for third. It's another top four finishing position for Peter Seri. Loikemans Terpstra finishing sixth in the same time as Gilbert. Breschel et al. Will secure the overall victory. Lagoutin, Lemoine, Vichot and Vallet round out the top 10. Just 22 years of age, but he certainly is a developing rider, isn't he? Danny van Poppel. Lots of big wins in those legs in the coming years, you can be sure of it. Now we wait for confirmation of the overall standings. I wonder how long they're going to take in terms of deciding the minor positions in the top 10. Well, that might take a little while, but I don't think there's any doubt about I don't think there'll be any doubt about the destiny of the final yellow jersey of the week. Right, it's just getting themselves ready for the presentation. The suspended gardens of Thuin. Impressive piece of terracing, isn't it? Need to be able to build a wall around here, don't you? Danny van Poppel gets the final victory of the week, and Niki Terpstra will be very shortly confirmed as the overall winner of Tour of Wallonië. It's an important win for him. It's an important win and yet another win for Etappe Quickstep, the predominant squad in World Tour racing and at all levels of professional bike racing. Four riders up front for much of the afternoon. And what a great job they did of setting up the finale, the expected sprint up the hill. But a little bit of a surprise winner, not surprised that he's strong, and he certainly has been sprinting well this week, but a surprise that he was able to get up that finishing hill in the way that he managed to do. Philippe Gilbert, all eyes on him coming into the finale, and do you think maybe because he didn't fire, no one else fired, and that allowed Van Poppel to just time it to perfection?
Yeah, I think it just caught everyone by surprise a bit, and you know, they probably weren't expecting Danny to have a go at this one as the way he did, and I think a lot of the teams also spent an awful lot of energy before they actually got anywhere near the climb, and yeah, Danny just did an amazing job at going, and he spotted a great opportunity. He already had a bit of a gap there, and following the Tinkoff Saxon rider, and then just went for it from there. So spot on.
Well, he's been in good form, hasn't he? He's second in the Grand Prix Cerami last week to Philippe Gilbert. This time he pulls one off. And Niki Terpstra confirmed as the overall winner of Tour of Wallonië for 2015, ahead of Victor Kampenaerts. Lagoutin, Van Poppel, Varnier, Vallet, Gilbert moves up to 7th, Vliegen, Turgot, Breschel and the rest. So Van Poppel prepares himself to receive the spoils of victory. It's another important win to add to his palmarès, and we've got plenty of great bike racing coming up on Eurosport this week. The Ride London women's race on Saturday at 7 p.m. Classica San Sebastian, the World Tour race on Saturday afternoon as well. That's live at 15:30 CET. That's 14:30 if you're in Ireland or Britain. Well, what a great final stage that we've had at Tour de Wallonië. Danny van Poppel gets the stage win. Terpstra gets the overall. From myself and Magnus, goodbye.